welcome to Tazori Home. Today we are bringing you our next episode in our series Design Within Reach, where we tour everyday people's homes to show you that you can create a home you love within your means. I'm so excited to tour Hannah Winter's beautiful home here in Birmingham, Alabama. Hannah is an incredible landscape artist. You've probably seen her work in Pottery Barn, Amber Lewis, so many different areas. I'm sure you've seen her work, and we're so excited to share her beautiful home with you. So let's go inside and see what Hannah is up to.
Hey MTV, welcome to my crib. Come on in.
Yeah, so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having us in your home. I have been seeing all the little corners on your Instagram, and now to see it all in one space is so exciting. I would love to just know where your inspiration for home and your style came from and how that all came about.
I think it started with my love for furniture and antique furniture. This is something my mom and I have been doing since high school. We would go to the antique store and refinish furniture, and I think it just has progressed from then as an appreciation for all art and furniture and accessories. Really, I think it all kind of ties in together once you find the right piece of furniture.
I love that, and I love that's something that you guys get to do together. That's so special. And along with that, your art fits in so beautifully with your home.
Thank you.
And I would love for you to share a bit about how you got into your art and your work.
So art was another thing that I've done since a child. My parents believed in me and fostered that at a really young age. So they put me in private art lessons with an oil painter in our local town. Every Saturday I would take art lessons, but that involved learning about all of the artists. It was actually an art lesson, and then we would study his or her technique and we would apply it. I really studied all the famous 1800s European landscape artists that I fell in love with. I have all of the books in my studio, and I've just always been gravitated to that kind of art. It really started with just wanting to fill the space in my own home, and then I realized I could probably sell this if someone else wanted it. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to purchase any of Hannah's work, we'll put the link down in the description. And you also sell prints. Where can they find their prints?
You can find my prints on my website. A bunch of retailers all over the country sell it. Pottery Barn, Amber Lewis, Juniper Print Shop's a big one, but yes, you can follow my website for how to purchase.
Okay, so why don't you talk to us a bit about what we're looking at in this foyer area dining table?
So this is a 1940s home that we gutted and refinished the floors and obviously added cabinets and marble counters. But this space specifically, the only original part of this home we kept is the mantle, because I loved this detailing right here. It's kind of that, almost gives a Greek key look to it.
Yeah.
And so this is original to the home and we love it so much. And I kind of wanted to center the space around the fireplace, because we eat family dinner every night, and having a beautiful dining table I think is so much part of it. And we have recycled through tables trying to figure out what works for this space, but we landed on a round table. This is oak with a darker stain with this burl veneer on it. And I love the birdcage base to it down here. That's a detail that I think feels formal and fancy, but still lived in and cozy. And I just wanted something that could be dressed up as formal, but also be casual, where my kids could sit and do their homework.
Right.
And these chairs are actually from Ballard Designs, and they were really affordable. I loved them. And I just didn't want upholstered pieces in here. I had that at one time and I loved it, but I think it was just, I wanted more of a cottagey, lived-in English feel, and this did the job while not bringing in another shade of wood. It kind of has that whitewashed look to it. This railing that we just redid, I think I was just craving a traditional style home and a traditional style railing, and installing that with the sisal runner kind of gave that traditional feel. I know I keep saying traditional, but that was really the look we were going for. And adding fun detailing like the molding and the ceiling pendant, I think makes it feel like it's always been here, but it's new. This is plaster, but it was just installed a year ago. So,
and I love that your space, it's so neutral and calming and peaceful, but I feel like sometimes with neutral spaces, it's easy for it to feel bland, but your space feels so far from bland.
Oh, good, I'm glad.
So what do you think is the reason for that?
I think bringing in different textures, like for example, this basket in a darker shade, the baskets under there, bringing in different colors and different stains of wood. We have these bleached floors. I think that all gives it a dynamic feeling. This is about as much color as you're gonna see is this navy ticking stripe.
I love this.
Yes, I love like a ticking stripe in that kind of neutral pattern while still staying true to myself. And yeah, so bringing in, I think, different textures, different stains of wood, texture in the ceiling, even texture in the lampshade.
So where do you find most of your pieces for your home? Because I know you have a nice balance of old and new.
Yeah, so I am famous for having like one big splurge item. For us, it was this table. And this was made by a local business in Homewood, and they're also my neighbors. They're Moses tables, and they ship everywhere. I look elsewhere like Ballard IKEA. These lamps are visual comfort. They're the Ralph Lauren base. Those were splurge items. But then the fabric, this is Ballard. And these are Lee Industry benches, which we just had made about a year ago, which we have loved for this area because you see the counter when you walked in. I was overwhelmed by all of the legs.
Okay.
There were so many like the counter legs, the table legs, the chair legs. I'm like, I feel like when I walk in, all I'm seeing are legs. And I just needed something to blend into the marble. The leather, this is wipeable, which is incredible for having kids.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, I would love for you to talk a bit about this kitchen.
Yes. So the kitchen before was about half of this size, and it was a beautiful black and white tile, original to the 1940s home, but we unfortunately couldn't keep it. I would have though, in a heartbeat. But when we were gutting and redoing this space, along with our builder and the designer with our building team, I really wanted it to stay light and bright because it wasn't a room drenched in windows. At the time of our renovation, it was really popular to do a different color island than the cabinets, and I wanted to keep it all the same and all fluent, getting like a shade of white that's not totally white. Like this is more of like a bone color to me. The color is actually pale oak. Spending our money in the finishes like marble and unlacquered brass is where I recommend putting your money. If you're doing a kitchen renovation, our cabinets were actually probably the most affordable part of our renovation. We could have spent triple or quadruple on our cabinets.
I also love that you have your kids' artwork up here.
I know, that was the only bummer of having a cabinet face on our fridge is that it's not a magnet. But I still wanted it to look like people live here.
Yeah.
And we have 3 kids, and I did not want to conceal that at all. So we put all of our special stuff up here and also on our laundry room door.
Oh, I love it.
Yes.
It's a fun pop of color.
Yes, that is about all the color you'll get in here. I am going to show you guys this little alcove. This is a spot that's been hard to furnish because it's dark, but this is the little area to our bedroom, and we wanted this little nook so that if our bedroom door was right here, you'd see it straight from the doorway. So this kind of creates like a private space leading into the master, but this is from a new antique store out of Charleston called Found. And we got this bowed chest with the inlaid detail. Just wanted to make sure there was contrast with all of the light and white to have a darker piece of furniture. We sourced this antique painting off of Cherish, and I just was so inspired by it. This is the kind of stuff that I paint in my studio. So I always love to have original oil paintings of all the OGs from like 1850. Okay, and this leads into our bedroom.
Okay.
So this is our bedroom, which is a major work in progress. This is something I wasn't sure what I wanted when we renovated, and I wanted to put money into other areas of the home, and bedrooms have been last priority, but there are some special pieces in here. Like this is a marketplace find. It's not super old, but it gave the look of being really old with the Queen Anne legs. And I added details like the tassel, and these are the original swan neck pulls, but I would say it's probably like 50 years old. I just think every room should have old furniture.
I agree.
Yes. And we added the bamboo shades and some pleated drapes, and eventually down the road we're gonna get some pattern and wallpaper in here, but I'm gonna have to think about it for at least a year before I pull the trigger on that.
And I know you guys recently.
So this was with our renovation, and we've just put the finishing touches with the sconces, drapes, and the bamboo shade. I've always loved the French and English design. That's all of our coffee table books is French countryside, English countryside, the new traditional home. I've just always been drawn to that.
And this side over here.
Yes, this is the showstopper on this side with the shower. Obviously the unlacquered brass everywhere was where we put our money into as well. This is a tiny little guest bath. We just did small updates in here, and a lot of it includes changing out the hardware to polished nickel, which I think is another good piece of advice when designing your home, is mixing the metals. I've been guilty too of just wanting only unlacquered brass, but then it starts to look like a French chateau, and I think you need to have a little bit of variation.
Now this is the space I've been most excited to see, your studio.
This is my art studio. But it's perfect for me, and it has just enough natural light. And in here, I wanted to drench the walls with all of the antique paintings that inspire my love of furniture and decor in my business. And sometimes I'll have my original oil paintings up there. You can see all the empty spots is where things have sold. So I'm constantly putting up and taking down all the time, but in the meantime, while I'm waiting for it to sell, it really inspires me to see it up there. Yeah, I do have dreams and goals of having every single part of the picture frame mold and covered in oil paintings. That's kind of been my dream in here. This is just where I sit and paint, and I've got this liner on top of a tablecloth just to bring in more pattern, more texture. This is the parterre tablecloth. That I love this pattern so much because it's neutral but still brings in a little bit of variation.
Could you tell me what your favorite piece of art that you've ever made was and the story behind it?
This one. This is Meet Me There 4. I painted this probably in 2022, and this is a print of the original painting. But this is what has sold the most. This is what still every month, I cannot believe people are still buying it this many years later. And the inspiration behind it was after a dream that I had. It was in the depths of, I had just had major surgery, multiple miscarriages. My son was so sick. He was really sick in the hospital for a small period of time where we really weren't sure what was going on. And I had a dream that I was laying under a giant oak tree, and that's all the dream was. Like that, nothing else happened in it. But when I woke up, I really felt like the Lord was saying to me, like, hey, meet me there in that spot when when you're anxious today. Meet me in that spot that I showed you last night. So yeah, the dream was very vibrant. That's where all of my trees come from, is trying to recreate the tree from my dream. So I shared about the meaning behind this tree, and it really resonated with some people. So I did a whole Meet Me There series, and that's inspired after where I felt like God was telling me I could meet him in like times of sorrow or angst.
It's not a surprise then that that's what sold.
Yes,
the most,
I know.
It had such a deep
Yeah.
meaning to you, and of course that comes through.
Yes, yes.
Now this piece
This is what holds all the art supplies. It's a mess, but these are all of my artists that I adore and love and study. Yeah, it just holds all of this is art supplies, canvas, paper, brushes. And I love it because I used to just have some IKEA cabinets until I was like, I don't like looking at those. Why don't I invest in a nice piece of furniture? So I'm really glad that I did.
I mean, it's beautiful. I feel like came over from France.
Yeah, I think it did. And this is our 10-month-old's room. We invested in this room because he's our last baby and we waited a very long time for him, and we just wanted to make this room extra, extra special. So again, it's like, how do I bring in color and pattern while still feeling true to myself? Because I'm not a big vibrant color lover. I get really anxious when it's too much going on, and my space has to feel peaceful. So we worked with a local designer, Virginia McCary, and she helped us pick out this ticking stripe wallpaper, which we love so much, and she nailed it. It was the first thing she brought to us to sample. I'm like, that's perfect. That's exactly what I want. And I think tying it all together with painting the ceiling and the trim, we color drenched the closet inside, and spending money on drapes. So I think that that's kind of what made this room feel put together when we didn't do that much to it. Okay, next is to our living room. We're doing it kind of layer by layer. I sourced these sconces from Facebook Marketplace, but added a really nice silk pleated shade to it. And these chairs I plan on recovering. You can see my kids have destroyed them. So we're gonna recover this in some sort of ticking stripe or small block pattern. This is another table we had done by Moses Tables down the street. And I was just on the hunt for a demi-lune table that connected together, but it was massive and it was like $4,000. So I just brought it to Ed and his son and said, how can you replicate this for me but make it smaller for this corner? And we just kind of sketched it out together, and they made it with the brass feet, and it's like, this is the star of this room, and I'm kind of decorating around it. But these are a Facebook Marketplace find. And these are herbariums I found on Etsy that I got a good classic kind of polished nickel frame on it.
Etsy's such a good source.
It is the best.
I feel like people don't realize like how much, even like lighting,
oh my gosh,
artwork,
everything.
handcraft items, there's so much.
Especially like pillows and old fabric remnants too, you can find for a good deal. So,
all right, so shall we go upstairs now?
Yes, I'm gonna show you the most colorful part of our home.
Oh, I'm excited.
Okay, this is one area of our home that has a good bit of color. Which is the boys' bathroom. You know, it's up here in the corner. Let's do something fun. I believe this is a Schumacher wallpaper, and these sailboat paintings are from Found Birmingham. Our builder and designer helped us pick out this cabinet, and having this fun detailing on the marble just felt special. Yes, because the only option was having to put it against the window. So we're like, how do we make the most of this? And having something that felt like a piece of furniture, yeah, just I think made it feel more custom and put together.
And I love that it's right here in the window, and then the mirror is right.
I know. I'm like, this is like a selfie stick. With the lighter.
I know the light.
I know. Every time I come up here, I'm like, wow, I look so much better up here than I do downstairs.
It should be my bathroom.
Yes, exactly.
And I love that you tied in the blue with the tile. It's so thoughtful. Well, shall we go downstairs and just chat a little bit more?
Yes, let's do it.
If you'd like to see the full after tour interview with Hannah, we've saved it exclusively for our Patreon family. Over there, you'll find behind the scenes content, monthly challenges, our book club, and most importantly, a cozy private community of like-minded women sharing inspiration, recipes, vintage finds, and advice on all things home. To join, head to the link in our description below. We'd love to welcome you in. If you want to connect with Hannah further, you can follow her on Instagram at Hannah Winters Art. Also, check out all her beautiful work on her website, hannahwintersart.com. I can't thank you enough for having us and
thank you so
showing us
much
around.
for coming. It has been an absolute joy having you guys here.
Wave, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.